What is going on? Shango Ray, aka Real Deal Ray. The title of this video, Don't Wait to Be Inspired. Okay. Now, before I go on and say why I would tell you not to wait, I'll just cut to the chase, I guess. You're going to be waiting forever. You're going to be waiting fucking forever. That's what you're going to be doing is master waiting. All right. Master waiting away. But you know, the more desires that you die with, the more unfinished business you have, it's basically a ticket to keep coming back. Now, maybe that's kind of what you signed up for. Maybe, I don't know. Everybody's different. You know, you already agree to some things when you come down here. Okay. So don't wait to be inspired. Okay. Before I get into that, I just want to tell a brief story. I've told this story before. Many of you probably have already heard this story. Okay. YouTube erased my videos. They used to erase the shit out my videos sometimes. Like I'd come back on and the shit's just gone. They kind of chilled out on that. I don't know exactly what was going on with that, but I'm going to tell the story and tell how, because I see this a lot with a lot of people, um, a lot of questions I get. And I just thought I'd tell this story came to mind. Like I said, many of you probably know this story, but I'm gonna make it real brief if you haven't heard it. Okay, so long ago in China, or somewhere in China, right? There was this old Chinese farmer, and he had a bunch of horses, right? And one day, one of the horses escaped, and all the fucking nosy neighbors in town came up and, oh my god, oh my god, you lost your horse. Oh, that's so terrible. And the wise farmer just said, maybe, we'll see. So a little bit later, the farmer's son was out and about, you know, found the horse, brought the horse back. Once again, all the nosy neighbors scattered around. Oh my God, that's so fucking wonderful. You got your horse back. And, the wise old farmer just said, maybe, we'll see. All right. So a little while after that, the son wanted to break that horse in, so that you could ride it because it was a wild horse, wasn't tamed. So he gets on the horse and he's trying to do his thing, and the horse just and throws the son off, and he snaps his leg. And then once again, the nosy neighbors come around. Oh my God, that's so terrible. He broke his leg. And of course, the wise old farmer, being the wise old farmer, is just like, maybe, we'll see. Well, shortly after that, the Chinese army come marching into town, talking about, we need every single able-bodied young man here. You know what I'm saying? We need you. We can't take him because his leg's broken. All right. So then all the villagers get, oh my God, your son got spared. Oh my God. The wise old farmer just said, maybe, we'll see. The whole point of that story, though, is that there's nothing good or bad, you know. Um, Same way can be said, really, actually, imperatively, universally speaking, right or wrong. There's a human perspective, there's our own personal perspectives on things. Of course, there's things that you'd prefer, and there's things you definitely would not prefer. But I see a lot of people waiting and wondering because they want to get it right. They want to guarantee that they're going to get it right. And really, honestly, if you take any action towards your intention, there's almost no way you can lose. It's like all paths will lead in a line, you know, even if you're not feeling like it. Because waiting for inspired action will just basically means that you're a slave to your emotions. And I know because guilty here too, you know, especially when it comes down to like certain things like with magic, okay? There are sometimes you're going to feel like doing magic and there's sometimes you're not going to feel like doing magic. I'm not saying force yourself to just do magic or whatever, but what I am saying though, a lot of people are waiting, or like I said, they want to know if they're going to get it right, you know? And every wrong has a right and every right has a wrong in it somewhere. Even if it's on a spiritual level and you can't see it, and from a human perspective, it may stank of wrong or it may stank of right. But there's a lot of things that you can't see. The reason why I do what I do is because if I can assist anybody in any form or fashion to be able to check out of here and have a lot of these desires or whatever it is that they really want or they, truly desire from their heart, you can cross that off the list. Then you're much more likely to be free to go. You know what I'm saying? It's the ones who die with the regret. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. They're the ones who keep coming back, coming back, coming back. And yes, some of us we're gonna keep coming back because we agreed to it, or there's other things that we want to experience for whatever reason from a soul level. Okay, but the world's a stage, and we're all, we all play every part. At some point in time, we're gonna play every goddamn part. We done played every part. Bad guy, good guy, extra in the background, drinking coffee, whatever. And if you wait for things to be right, if you wait for the inspiration, I've heard of if you listen to the most effective like writers or musicians, they self-discipline is a motherfucker. You need it. Whether it's magic, whether it's music, whether it's anything, you need it. You know? They always you listen to any of them, they'll talk about how sometimes they'll just sit down and they just write for 3 4 hours. They sit down, write for an hour every day, at least an hour every day, or they may write just they write at least every day, whether it's a paragraph or whether they get into it and bang out a couple chapters, you know, because just like with working out, if your intention is to, be in a certain shape, do you think you're going to be fucking inspired every day to go inflict that type of pain on yourself or work out or do all this shit, wear yourself out for that day? I guarantee the answer will be no. But does that mean you're not going to do it just because you don't feel like it? You know what I'm saying? I've said it before, action does produce clarity. People I notice that are in the greatest fog are in the greatest form of, as far as the greatest fog of what they should do. They just I don't know what to do. And then like months, maybe even years will go by. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. They're still singing the same old song. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. If you just get busy, you will find. When I say I don't, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Not get busy. I meant that more in a slang term, but go forward. Move. Whether that is taking some form of action, physical action. And you know what? Sometimes when you don't feel like it can almost paradoxically work in your favor because you don't have a lot banking on it. You don't have a lot of excess desire, sometimes too much positive emotion. Just like when people, you know, when you watch like The Secret or something, and that fucking idiot's on the couch pretending he's driving a car and he's all excited and screaming and shit. Like, let me tell you something, man. An excited state of being, like when your excitement is spiked, you could not live your entire life in that state. You would fucking die, okay? Because believe it or not, the sight that state of excitement produces a lot of stress hormones. It's just the definition we give it is, hey, I'm excited versus hey, I'm scared. You know, the body's not meant to be in such a peak emotional state like that for long periods of time. Okay, not to mention we usually get excited about something that isn't normal. Okay, and whatever isn't normal, especially when you're trying to, if you're trying to do some type of visualization or do something like that, it's automatically going to pull in resistance. It's automatically going to pull in resistance, you know, versus, like I was telling somebody, imagine if you just won the lottery and that very moment that you know you won the lottery, maybe for the next 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe even that whole day, you're going to be fucking ecstatic, right? But I would always suggest in your visualization, in your inner temple, don't try and picture that moment because that's an abnormal moment. You want to go even further ahead, a couple weeks, a couple months later. Do you think you're still going to be rolling around the ground talking about, I won the lottery? No, because it's normal by that time. Yeah, I won the lottery. You know, last year I won the lottery. I'm still getting checks. You know, that's where you are acclimated to that. You know what I'm saying? My whole point though is people wait for this lightning bolt to shoot them in the ass, like where they think it's. And I know because I used to do the same shit. I used to do the same shit. And you know what? Nothing would ever get done. You know, nothing would ever get done. That excitement, that inspiration, I should say. There's nothing wrong with being inspired now either. If you're feeling it, hey, you know, do whatever it is that you were inspired, feeling inspired to do in the first place, you know, but don't sit around and wait for it is what I'm saying, you know, but I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. I really did. But through small consistent actions, and like I said, sitting down for a couple minutes and just saying, hey, you know what, I'm gonna get clear on something, or I'm gonna visualize this thing and I'm gonna charge up my inner shit with my whatever it is that I'm bringing forth. I'm claiming this now, you know, matter of factly, you know, and the emotion that you want to bring with it is is actually one of normalcy, you know, because that would mean you're used to it. That would almost tell your neurology that this is so. You know, excitement is very abnormal. You know, and too much of a good thing is not a good thing. You know, and maybe only just with love, but like you can imagine love. I don't know. That's potato here, but excuse me. My point, and the reason I told that story is because for everything that you want, that you imagine is positive for yourself, whether you know it or not, it does have its negative shit with it. You just cannot avoid that. Everything has it. For every level is another devil. For every level of success, it's going to bring other unwanted shit. And then you're going to have to shift again. And then when you're in that place, eventually you're going to have to shift again because everything is in a constant state of becoming. Nothing's going to fully realize itself here because everything is always in a constant flux of change because change is the only constant. So I said that story because a lot of people ask me if they're doing it right or doing it wrong. And yes, you may be doing things in a way that are not getting you the particular result. depending. A lot of times you can trace the results back to the intention or the lack thereof. The intention has not been maybe going after the wrong intention or whatever, but even in going in the wrong intention, what you're going to do as you move forward in anything, if you don't know, you're going to create what's called contrast in yourself. Contrast is I like this, I don't like that. So once I get rid of that, now I just have this. Eventually things are going to change. And you know what? Now I'm not liking this, but I like that, you know? And it just keeps going on and on. So people want to be sure that they're getting it right. And in actuality, though, from a bigger or a wider perspective, I guess you could say, there is really no right way or wrong way, you know? I remember back in the day when 50 Cent blew up, and 50 Cent was like the shit, right? And his story was he came up off of mixtapes. Then everybody started trying to do like this person did ABC. So then everybody else tries to rush and do ABC, but none of them had the same results as him, you know? The same reason you can have 10 people do the same spell and you're going to have probably 10 different results, even if they follow everything exactly to the T, because it does come down to the intention. It does come down to the frequency and to the amount of resistance each individual person holds towards their intention, why they're doing the spell. All these inner faculties and variables make a big difference. But you don't want to end up a slave to your emotions or just doing things when you feel like it, because ain't nothing ever going to really get done, you know? And there's lots of different ways that you can start to, slowly cultivate more and more, build it up like a muscle, self-discipline. One of the most famous ways, simplest ways, I started doing it a long time ago, still do it to this very day. When I get up, first thing I do is make my bed. And I never really thought about it, but I heard somebody was talking about it, and they were talking about what that tells your mind is you finish it. When you make your bed, that's telling your mind, I finished my sleep, you know? And the examples this person used was after you're done eating, go wash your dish. That also signals to your mind, I finished, when you come home from work, before you go to bed or whatever, take you a shower, you're washing that day off. It's the end of the day, finito. I'm about to go to bed. That signals to your mind, different shit like that. But anyhow, that has been my brief story to you. And, don't forget we got the 3-day breakup spell available for a very, very short time. I had to stop doing them a while back. I got inundated with them. I was bombarded with them. And just being in that energy too much was not a good thing for me. But I have been getting requests. Shout out to the two who did claim theirs already. Um, and it is open here now. The link will be in the description box. But there's no right or wrong really when it comes to how you're doing something, or like I said, eventually you're going to get to the point where it shifts and you're like, you know what, I discovered something. But you would have never discovered something, you would have never discovered this thing if you didn't start off going possibly in the wrong direction in the first place. But such as a boat travels across the ocean, it never goes in a straight line, it tacks, goes back and forth like that, constantly adjusting, such as what we all do. You know what I'm saying? So the other thing about it, though, it builds momentum, and it does something to your frequency. It does something to your frequency, to the point where a lot of times, 90% of the time, I believe it's not even really the actions, it's the effect that the actions have inside, as far as what your frequency, what you are You know, because your frequency is going to determine, as I use the analogy, what channel you're on. As far as on the TV, you want to switch the channel, boom. Switch the channel, boom. What's the difference in all these channels is a small variation of frequency. You know, if you want to get technical, I guess. Bandwidth or whatever. They're all on a different, just a little bit different frequency, like radio stations. You know. But anyways, that's what I got for you today. I sincerely may you experience the desires of your heart now, now, and now. And this is Sean Goey. Like, share, subscribe, and thrive. Like, share, subscribe, and thrive. And like, share, subscribe, and thrive in that order. All right. The order of operations here. All right. Peace and blessings. And we will check you out. I think later on today, I will be dropping finally the earth and water love readings, the earth sign love readings, and the water sign love readings. So, peace and blessings to you.